Hey guys, welcome back to Flat Creek Outdoors. I am down here in the flower patch, what will be the flower patch. I just tilled that little bit yesterday, or 2 days ago, with that new tiller we just got, and it's looking good, but it's got some uneven spots just because of the way that we plowed it and we turned it over and the way it kind of all came together. It just got a little bit of a unlevel bit to it. And then the big patch here has a whole bunch of unlevel spots, including right down the middle of it in that direction, where when we were plowing it, half the field got plowed in one direction and half of it got plowed in the other. So you have kind of this spot in the middle that didn't really get plowed that much, so it's like this big ditch in the middle. So what I want to do is try to level all this out as best we can, knock down all the high spots, fill in all the low spots before we till it, so that it is pretty much as level as it can be once it's tilled. But I did want to show you one other thing. You notice there's a couple grooves here in the field. So earlier I was off doing something else. Stacy hopped on the tractor, and we did have a little bit of drainage on a drainage problem last year on the low side of this plot. So we ran through with the subsoiler, and I just told Stacy to kind of follow the slope, run straight downhill, and then leave the subsoiler in the ground a good 10-15 feet past the plot, which is what we have here. And I'm hoping, you know, where the subsoiler exited down here, downhill, that will assist with drainage. Well, there's an implement that we found on our property here. It's absolutely massive, and we found it actually a couple years ago, but we've never used it. We never really found a need to use it. But let me show you this thing. I think trying to smooth out this plot is the perfect opportunity to try to put this thing to use. So this is the implement. It is 12 feet wide. You can see it sticks out several feet on each side of my tractor, and it's obviously a homemade thing. They cut little notches out of the bottom of that first piece, and then the back piece is just a flat piece of steel. So I think we can just use this as a bit of a land leveler, or as a big grader, and we'll see how it works. It's quite heavy, so I think as soon as I lower it down, it should do a pretty decent job at smoothing everything out. So let's fire up the tractor, and we're just gonna kind of go right uphill with this and see how it does. Well, this is working pretty good. They over in this tilled section, it's definitely working better than it is up there, because up there's still a lot of grassy clumps from when we initially plowed this section and had a bunch of annual ryegrass in it, and then we came through with a disc, and there's still just a lot of big chunks of grass, so that tends to get piled up. Over in this section where it was tilled, though, we can push around as much soil as we want. And what I've got is right over here along this edge where we did the first plow, you know, this soil was folded over that way. So there's a little bit of a ditch here. So I'm dragging soil uphill to kind of fill that in. And then out in the middle, there's also a little depression. So I'll fire it up here and show you how it works. We'll just pull soil from down there, bring it up here, do this little 40-foot section here, and we'll be good to go. Well, that is quite the grater, 12 feet long, and the only thing I could tell, and I know some of you guys would point this out, so I might as well go ahead and mention it. You can really feel the torque or the tension on those outer edges, and I'm absolutely certain that it would be pretty easy to bend the 3-point arms because there's just so much tension being put on there, especially if you try to turn with that thing on the ground. It really puts a lot of lateral force, side-to-side force on the 3-point hitch, but did really good here. There's still a lot of dirt clods like I mentioned, but as far as knocking down the high spots and filling in the low spots, did pretty good. We're just going to let this chill out here. We have some fertilizer that we're going to spread, but we're going to let this chill out for a couple weeks. Then we're going to come back and till it and amend it with the fertilizer, and then another couple weeks after that we'll be ready to start planting our flowers, which we're planning on harvesting late summer. So that'll be coming up in future videos. If you enjoy this kind of stuff, make sure you hit the like button on this one, of course, and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next video. See you guys.